Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We're running our trade group session today. Tim's busy trading, so we've left him out there on the desk, and Ivan and I will just be running this today together. Any advice contained in today's presentation is general only, doesn't take into consideration your personal circumstances. You need to decide for yourself whether it's appropriate for you. Past returns are not an accurate indicator of future returns. Okay. Indeed. Now, let me bring up our market and let's get into it. So options games obviously finished now, and we should add Tim won that. He was the winner. He made the most amount of money, but unfortunately wasn't eligible. So Nick was the official winner.
I think Nick picked up him in the end.
No,
I don't remember.
No.
I mean,
Tim's
there was so
walking around
week.
like he won the thing.
Yeah,
anyway,
of course he does. Yeah.
And Blake also from our team came in third. So
I was just really surprised looking at the trade history because I was just confident they found a way to cheat. They didn't cheat.
They didn't cheat. No,
they didn't cheat.
They traded in their own merit. So anyway, the what I've got open on the screen before we get into discussions today is something that's coming soon on the implied volatility. So you can see that it's got your market depth, where you can bring up on the home screen the ability to do a whole bunch of new stuff. So market depth is obviously one that's been a lot of equity traders are really keen on, and some people like to use it in their options trading as well.
I'm so excited about this.
Yeah,
I love it.
I am.
I literally gave it to you about 15 minutes ago.
Yeah.
And you're
so you can put the page together however you wish.
Course of sales, that's coming in as well, so that's going to be good.
Yeah. And if I just click on this, it'll
link it
up to BHP, which is everything else. And let's have a look at CBA. Anyway, so I understand you're going to be able to expand each one of these, and you're going to be able to add different screens as well. That's a functionality that's not there at the moment.
Yep.
So all this is coming along quite well. I'm very happy about that.
If anyone's interested in getting the first look at it and have their screens upgraded to it, maybe, I don't know, let us know, and we'd be happy to organise in return for some feedback.
Beautiful. All right, now let's get going. So let me bring up. I guess we should start off with the XGO, which is not really giving us any massive...
Yeah, it is interesting, isn't it? I mean, US has broken back up to 50, well, minus the Dow, but the S&P 500's, actually I think Dow's is record highs as well now, but yeah, S&P's broken to 52-week highs, the S&P 500. So they've went on a relentless run, and as has been the case throughout the entire bull rally, we've sort of been lagging behind again. So
67.50 doesn't really want to go above that. And you can see it's tested it. So,
but that looks pretty bullish.
Yeah, it still looks like it's going to have a crack eventually.
Which
make its way through.
I'm going to say, I mean, this is partially one of the things that I keep saying. I've never been good at literally picking it, which is why I'm an options trader, right?
Yeah.
But well, actually, no, there was a time that was pretty good. But I mean, like, it was looking really bearish there as I was testing at 6,500. It was doing it at speed. Earlier in August, it was the same thing, especially when it made a low, and it was just kind of. And here we are.
Yeah.
Just now it's looking the complete opposite, and we're only talking about a 250 point range each way. So anyway,
and I mean there's not a lot, even though the market's been strong. I mean, everything on balance is sort of just in that similar sort of a range.
Yeah, it is.
It's not really.
Land lease has been on a absolute rip.
Yep.
So that's been, I think it's been coming up as a lit long now for a week, something like that.
A little longer than that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the last couple of weeks it's presented itself. Again, so it's been a good trade from people that got in there at the start, and it's given
it's decaying.
Yeah. So at this point in time, would you get into it again? Well, with our trading plan, it would have once this trade finishes, it will automatically go again. So, based on our back testing, it seemed to work quite well. You stay with the trend. The only thing you'd be, worried about is if it gets too far away from the
$2,
now
two, between those. So.
$2 there. That's a decent correction. Yeah.
Yeah.
From a lit long perspective, I think James Hardy, what happened there?
Yeah, I just saw the news this morning that it dropped off a fair bit. I think last week it came up. I don't know if anyone's in on that trade. Let us know if you are, or any other stocks, by the way, you want us to look at. But yeah, it's interesting. So for anyone who's sort of sitting there thinking about, if you are in that trade, thinking about what are you doing, the general thing is that you've got to get it to close below the 50-day moving average. So you're going to be looking at a lot closer to the end of the day. But yeah, it dropped off, and I think it's by about 10:30 would be the first time when you're really monitoring the market. And I think about 10:30 it was. You might want to. Do you mind just going to like a 5-minute chart? And I think by that stage, I think it was back up to about $25. So right back above the 50-day moving average. So yeah, there you go. So it opened well lower. Be interesting to see who the lucky owner of those sold 24s would be in lower in the pre-auction. But yeah, someone's not having a good day. So yeah, anyway. But yeah, so be interesting to see how it goes. But we would be looking at, it's going to go back. I have an active Lend-Lease lit long 1815.19. I guess I need to let it run a bit longer to get some more time decay before I close it. Yeah, so David, the way to look at that now, and you might want to go back to the daily, by the way, but the way that you want to look at it now is the amount of premium that's left in that trade. So with where it is right now, 1850 means you've got in recently, I would think, like this week type recent, probably there. What do I open? Yes, it'd be around there. So you're sort of looking at, so you'd probably be 20 days out or something like that, I'm guessing. So a November expiry would be my guess. So based on that, yeah, you're sort of 35 cents away. You're not, you're going to make a little bit of money on that on your entry, but you're still not at maximum profit. So right now it's all about a time decay, and you'd be hoping that Lend-Lease stays above 19 between now and expiring. Rowan asks, is James Hardy, according to your trading rules, coming close to being flagged for a short position? Yeah, so we're close below the 50-day moving average is the sign that we're looking at, which is sort of the couple of things that are going into that would be below support, where it hit that first. So yeah, you're definitely looking at closing that. I think you'd be really looking where that level would be. I'm just going to go and create a line so we can get a bit of a view. So it's about 24.30 right now. So at about 24.30, so about, if it drops another 40-45 cents closer to the coming into the close, you'd be looking at closing it. Now, Rowan, here's one for you. I know you're a man who likes your volume. That I think is quite interesting. Seeing the volume today being quite a low volume day. So
apart from one, if you look at that where it dropped, obviously it was very high.
Yeah.
Well, not obviously. But
it actually, I mean, it's still not high, right? I mean, it's someone. So it's the interesting thing about this is
one big order.
One big order. Oh well, yeah, it's possibly a wrong price type order. I've seen stuff like that happen. But
has anyone got any news on it? Anyone out there seen any news on James Hardy? Anyway,
yeah.
Volume declining over the past few days. Yeah.
I can't believe that this is a chart. See, the funny thing is, all that I say about volume, you decide to put volume on your chart. Is it just to spite me?
I've always had it on my chart.
Anyway, but where's implied volatility? You're missing implied volatility. How'd you lose that? Don't care. Anyway, what else have we got? Anything on the trading screens, trading scans today?
Just the LLC.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Have we had any iron condors? That was the question I had. Tim. I don't think there's been anything that's come up. We scan everything and look at everything, and there's been a few that have been getting close to the 70-point mark, but nothing that's quite up there at the moment. I just can't see anything happening with IV where it's at and the market doing what it's doing.
Yeah, it's an interesting spot, isn't it? I mean, again, going back to Strategy Builder, and hopefully one day we do move off this amazing system so our computers actually work while we're you can add that to your list with stuff. Yeah. Now what am I doing? As soon as you click something wrong, everyone's going to wait for about 30 minutes for us to come back up with what it is we're trying to do. In terms of, an IV rank thing, these sort of the stocks that are doing a lot, obviously Medibank today dropping over 8% is a big one. There's an interesting, I guess, to watch. Based on volatility jumping, based on where that price is, I think that we'll see an iron condor pop on that soon. If you can't wait, there's an interesting chance there now, although it's only up to 30% vol overall, so although it's a spike in vol, it's still there. Some of these smaller value stocks that we generally don't look at, so the threes and stuff, there's just to get a decent size on. That's the reason why actually Medibank won't come up, because it's under $15 an overall. That culls everything there. But if you're really interested in getting a trade on, that's possibly one to look at. But the thing is that the ASX fees become dramatically high. Yeah. And to get some size on, you've actually got to be leveraging way too much in the event of something going wrong. So you're talking like thousands of lots. And it's just, by the end of it...
Does that in turn, I imagine, would just have an effect on liquidity full stop, because...
Exactly. Although
that would be a factor that other people are thinking about, so less likely to trade it.
Telstra's probably the only one that doesn't sit in that category, which is liquid. But again, the reason why you'll never see a trade coming from us over Telstra is it's a small value stock. So if that was, if the price of that stock was higher, call it $50, you'd see a lot of Telstra coming up, just because the amount to get a decent position on, you don't have to have that much on there in terms of lots. And so obviously ASX charges per lot. Charges are sold per lot. So, but anyway, so James Hardy is really the one that's sticking out there. We had something on Flight Centre the other day. I remember that coming up. What was that? Someone made money in the game or something, I don't remember. But anyway.
Someone was on that trade, weren't they? Trade of the week or something? Anyway, I don't know.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I think so.
Yeah. They didn't tell us what their secret source was. They must have
inside. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Maybe they work at Flight Centre.
Yeah. Or at least know someone that worked us. Active Ramsay, Iron Condor, 63, 65, 71, 73. When does it expire, David? Is the question while we're bringing that up. Right on the level, November. Yeah, fair enough. So it's I don't really know what to say. I mean, it's had a pretty good run up. Broken through. I think it looks like it's just sitting at some resistance now around 71. I think that
how long you been in there for, Dan?
I think while we're waiting for an answer on that, which looks like it'll probably be, I'm guessing, based on those legs, would have probably been around about end of November, end of October trade, also. But it's an interesting one. I think that, I mean, broadly speaking, there's no real reason to panic.
Yep.
Don't break in your phone that you just got. But there's nothing to panic about until you're close to the time when you just make a decision. I think that the thing about iron condors, generally speaking, is
you were saying you defer your panic until the last moment.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Look, I think
I try to not log in.
The standard answer you're going to get from us, David, is in the way that we approach iron condors. If we're in this trade, 16th of 10th, okay. So you've been in there for a while. How are you? even with this rise up? Are you still in profit, or
probably be slightly behind?
Slightly behind, yeah. But our approach to this would be we'd be in numerous different iron condors as they present themselves, not necessarily at one point in time. Therefore, there'd be nothing to us to say in this instance here that it wouldn't sort of revert back to closer to the middle. Now, if it goes back into the middle, do you close out? Well, again, that comes back to your trading plan.
I would be,
remiss of us to make any comments, but if you're trading the trading plan, you'd be staying in it.
Yeah. You only start
This
closing
trade.
when it's just you just don't want to take the assignment.
Yeah.
And so it's when it gets against you.
Yeah.
Because the other thing is that where the secret element comes in a big way is that, and the calculations is that if you're getting these trades right, you're not paying any brokerage on the way out, and brokerage does play a part, a very important part. So so that's why would be in it for the long haul. Hopefully that answers your question, David. Are there any other questions, any other stocks that you're in that you want us to have a look at, or any questions that you've got?
Good. Well, I think at the moment we're we're a wait and see in many ways. So I guess let's come up with CSL. Excuse me.
And CSL's been ramping higher as far as I saw. Yeah. I can't believe it's around the Jesus. And also we've got STO. And Rowan, just quickly, when you say STO and thoughts, what are the thoughts question mark? You mean around STO or around life? Because we don't give life advice.
So this is one that has presented itself as a trade idea. Probably in
times,
yeah.
And default filters are offered, by the way.
Yeah.
Because it's a large stock. So again, if something goes wrong, you end up. So that's sort of the other extreme of the $5 stock. It's above $200. It starts getting to the point that you put on one lot and then suddenly you're in 200 grand worth of CSL that you didn't want. So assignment risk becomes really real. So we tend to, unless you're in that category and you really want to be there and you're ready to face that, it's sort of a more advanced stock to play with. But if you are playing in it,
new entries are tough. I mean, there was one good entry, which was basically as it made its first more recent move to a 52-week high, and then after that, it's just moved quite some way away from the moving average.
That is definitely one to work out to consider. So again, if you're looking at, if you are planning on getting long in it, the thing that you watch out for is, you might want to adjust your stop away from the 50 moving average to something higher, which is going to be sort of that, where that previous low was, that very recent low. In terms of STO lining up for a short position, that's ballsy, Rowan. As a stock that's trading around 52 highs and quite away from it, I think that you probably wouldn't. But someone's not picking up phone calls.
Someone's calling in a question.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever had that phone ring. I didn't realize it was connected. But yeah, so anyway, so in terms of having a short lineup, I mean, if you're really interested in having a punch short, but at least you'll be waiting for a break below $8, because that's clearly been levels of support and resistance. So that just goes back to this kind of basic analysis. I wouldn't be jumping into anything here, honestly, based on my trading.
Yeah, if you're jumping in and out, then I don't know.
I mean, exactly. Yeah. So I mean,
the type of trading that has been making people the most amount of money in recent time is trading these short movements of support and resistance levels. But yeah, doesn't line up for our style.
The other thing is that just with what the US is doing, and unless there's some kind of a reason as to why that reverses, you've got this momentum broader in the market where you think that the path of least resistance is back to the long side. Again, until something changes, until there's some kind of a reason where, there's another drop in the market. But at this point in time, again, you until that happens, there's going to be a grind higher. Now, that could be a day higher, or it could be 3 months higher. But we're also getting into the cyclically now period where markets tend to get into these Santa Claus rally periods, the statistically strong months. So you now start getting to the point where, getting on the short side, you need volume, you need volatility, and you just might be stepping in front of something that is just consolidating around a high. So, that would be the piece there. And that probably answers the thoughts part as well around where the market's at, and what it's doing. I think that just getting into a period where, you've got to have a good reason to be on the short side now, and you've got to have a view about something happening. But the strategy generally would be is that you'd actually wait for something to start happening before you get on. So for anybody who's been listening, I've been slowly buying small parcels of puts in the market, expecting it to drop. And right now, for me to continue doing that, I've got to have something give me another reason. So before it used to be trade war and was just sort of these other areas, and now before I go in and start doing that again, I'd be waiting for some of these signals to come to the market. Now, this is separate to all the other stuff that we're doing in terms of strategies. It's my life protection. What happens when everything blows up and I go off the grid type thing. It's not happening. But again, like if you're the point I'm making is if you want to get onto the short side and you feel like something's overvalued, you've just got to wait for something to happen before you get it. And that's where, as a junior trader, when I just started out, I remember burning so much money because I thought that something has to happen, and the chances of that happening is very rare.
Yep. But if you're trading those,
if you're getting into the
range trading and you think there's a range there to trade, short stop, then that would be a way of.
Except there's 25 cents in that range.
Yeah, so not a great one, is it? All right. Let's have a look. Here, scans wise, from a LITT perspective, Seek's approaching. Have you ever traded Seek before?
Have I traded Seek?
Yeah,
I have not.
No, me neither. And
there's a reason, like your wife working there.
Yeah. And also there's a couple coming up. Beautiful. All right, guys. I think that's it from us today. If there are any final questions, put them through. Otherwise, I think we'll call things to a close. Thanks for coming. See you next week. Have a wonderful day. Cheers. Bye-bye.